How's it going, everybody? ISU Reaper 31 here, and welcome to this tutorial video on how you can make some simple tactical changes that can fix your gameplay here in Data Pack 5 of PES 2020. I'll start with a little disclaimer. I am on the PC using tools that makes it easier for me to make edits and changes, but if you want to make these changes on the console, you can. You just have to do it in the edit file. I also note I do not use any gameplay mods. This is the vanilla version of the game. So with that being said, I'm going to go into a few things you can do to help your gameplay, as many of us offline players have been frustrated with, including myself, when Data Pack 5 dropped, was just the ping pong passing back and forth, the lack of defensive awareness. There was a lot of issues with the game, and all these changes I'm about to recommend won't totally fix everything, but it'll make it a lot better. It's a game changer. It makes Data Pack 5 unplayable as it comes out of the box. It makes it a little bit more playable and something you can enjoy. So with that being said, let's get into the game. So the first change I'm going to recommend for everybody to do, and it's kind of crucial at this point due to how Data Pack 5 has effectively changed the gameplay. And if I go to the right setting here, system settings. So I recommend, the first thing I would recommend is change your game speed to -1. Now I know some people may not like that, think it might be too bogged down, but actually on hours of testing, it actually played a lot better. It's pretty evident that Data Pack 5 has sped up the gameplay, game speed altogether, to be more as hectic as it is already, just on game speed 0. Before Data Pack 5, gameplay 0 was more than acceptable, but now it's just unreasonable. I find that the reaction of the players on 0, the game is so fast that your defensive AI, CPU that they're controlling, have difficulty keeping up with the play, so they have to just kind of sit there and hold their position rather than, put pressure on the ball carrier and force a mistake. So my first recommendation, game speed -1. So now we're at the tactics screen. I'm going to play a league match here, as it's just as effective as in league matches in your Master League, but basically, just as how I'm setting up team. I'm playing as Everton. I'm playing Leicester. It's going to be a team that should be on paper a little bit better than Everton. But a couple things I want to note. We do a version of the 5-second fix here with this that helps to aid positioning. You can have fluid formation on or off. I tend to leave it on. But if you're going to leave fluid formation on, your formation needs to be uniform across. Everybody's got to be in the same position, same spot. If you move them out of position, then your formations start, even the slightest move to a different spot will cause your AI defensive mentality to go crazy. So this is what I recommend. Basically, drop your defensive midfielders, your wide midfielders, your attacking midfielders down as far as they can go. Leave the back line as it is, they're in a fine position, and also drop all your forwards down as well. And that's basically the crux of the fix. Also, I recommend, and I want to point out, this is going to be for both teams. I'm going to show you how I'm going to set up Leicester here as I explaining the changes I make. So, second change was the 5-second fix, compressing your formation. Second thing, or third thing I should say, is the ranges you need to play at. Support range, I recommend 4. I don't recommend anything higher, because you're just going to be playing too far spaced out, and it's just not going to be. It's going to get kind of ping-pongy. Lower, you can go a little bit lower, but it does mean you'll be kind of dribbling more and pass a lot more passing. So, but 4 seems to be kind of the sweet spot, and also it works good on if you're playing a long pass build-up. I found that 4 actually works really well, a good mixture of long and short passes. And also on the defensive side, I've tested this setup, defensive line 3 at this time. Seems to work pretty well, and a compaction of 6. I've tried compactions higher. I don't recommend going any higher than this right now because if you're playing the 4 in the back of the fullbacks, if you play too high of a compaction, i.e. move too far to the right, your fullbacks will tuck in all the time and they won't bother to even cover the wings, and your center backs have to pick up the slack. So recommend you leave it at 6, at least they somewhat stay out. They'll still tuck in on occasion, but they'll go out and defend the wing as needed. And the defensive line 3, I don't recommend going anything higher than this at this time. I've tested it a little bit higher and lower, and really 3 seems to be the nice kind of middle sweet spot of that right now. But your style, containment, and your pressure doesn't really matter. I've tested this on all-out defense, on frontline pressure, aggressive, you name it. It all works about the same. Just as so long as you leave the consistent. Just remember, a support range at 4, defensive line at 3, compactness at 6 for both teams. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to recommend is set the advanced instructions. Now this may be something that a lot of players probably aren't going to be a big fan of, but hear me out because it's going to make the difference in your gameplay. On top of the game speed and the 5-second change, is play this combination for both the sides. You should always have these 3 on: wing rotation and a double Gengenpress. Now, if you're the user team, you can obviously choose a second one, but you at least have to have a Gengenpress on, and I'm going to explain why. The biggest problem with Datapack 5 is the retreating defensive CPU players. Whenever the ball is in their general vicinity, their first reaction is to retreat. Now, when you put their speed at -1, they're not as hesitant. They can at least hold their position a little more. They don't fall back. They kind of just hold their line, but they won't go sprint back retreating. But the Gengenpress, what that does is when the ball's in their area, they will go press the ball carrier. And I know probably some people would prefer to sit back maybe a little bit more, but I'm telling you, this is a game changer. This fixes the problem with the passive defensive AI. So you put Gengenpress on. I've seen center backs come up, step up big time to make interceptions. I've seen midfielders tracking back to get the ball carrier, and it just makes it harder for the opposition to score. So, and the reason I do 2 is because if I'm setting up for the opposing AI, if I don't set it to 2, then they'll change that defensive instruction to a deep defensive line, which is absolutely one of the worst things about this game, as the instructions go when the AI turns that on at random times. So I'd rather have them just play 2 Gengenpresses. That way they're not tempted to turn on any other swarm the box or deep defensive line that would be detrimental to their the shape of the team. They already retreat enough. We need them to press forward. Now the wing rotation, that relates to stopping the linear play of the AI. And here's what I've seen. There's been a lot of videos people have done just showing gameplay of just kind of a tennis match going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, why is that? It's because Konami have programmed the attacking AI just to go forward. And they just go forward, 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 forward. Maybe one pass back, and then back forward, forward, forward. And that's where you get the very ping-pongy tennis match kind of gameplay, especially if you like 2 long ball teams. They'll just play that ball back and forth, back and forth. What wing rotation does is it pulls your center forward horizontally across the pitch, left to right. And that, when it does that, believe it or not, it actually triggers the players to pass the ball more out to the wings, which actually brings up more variety, and they mix up their passing, which breaks up the monotony of just going straight down the middle or straight down just one spot. They mix it up. So I highly recommend these 3 as your advanced instructions, just to kind of help kind of just a quick fix for the gameplay. And I'm going to do this for the opposition as well, and then we'll fire up a match, and I'll show you what's going on. But this is what the shape's going to be like from my side. I'll go ahead and show you kind of how to do the quick fix as well. But those are the one thing, and then the final thing you're going to do is turn on offside trap. Now the -1 speed also helps with holding the defensive line's position, but the offside trap was found to be this year kind of the little magic button that tells the AI to step up on occasion. So recommend having this on as well. So the 4 things you need to do, or 5 things I should say, the 5 steps you need to make Data Pack 5 playable is game speed -1, the 5-second position fix by dropping all your players, which I'll show here in a minute, your support range at 4, your defensive line at 3, your compactness at 6. And then finally your advanced instructions of attacking wing rotation, and 2 Gengenpresses. And you set this uniform for both sides. Alright. So let's go ahead and just keep a mental note of playing a position, all out defense, long and wide. So we'll go into the opposing team here and see if we can make some changes. So this is how I like to do mine, to turn on fluid formation. Okay, defensive midfielder, he'll play all the way back. Drop him as far as I can go. Since they have center midfielders, I kind of put them right about there. Not quite all the way back, just back enough, so they're not in the way. Alright, so same with the right winger. They're going to play like right along the shoulder to shoulder with center bids. Okay, and then obviously you need to drop the center forward all the way down. I could drop him all the way to SS if I really wanted to, since he can't play there, but I think it's better, you get better substitutions for center forward. Okay, so here's the side I've got. Looks okay. Nothing really jumping out as far as that. So the next thing I do is go in the position, change the kick off out of position, opposite now I'm left on the crest. So they're playing a counter attack, short pass, wide. And for the sake of this video, I'm gonna have them on long pass. They're already set to 4. The defensive line's not quite deep enough. We'll put them on front line pressure as well, just to kind of show you the difference in tactics. That, yeah, I mean, they are going to play more direct balls when you set it to long pass, but they'll mix up the variety. And with Vardy going left to right, they're going to play it out wide more often than down the middle. It's going to be a good balance. Again, there you have wing rotation. That's good. I don't recommend any of these other defensive tactics because the AI will turn them off or they'll get disabled if a substitution's been made. With the exception of maybe wing back, but wing back will tire the players out even more because we're playing a very high intensity press. Alright. So just finally making the last bit of changes. Don't forget to turn on the offside trap. And we should be good to go here. Change the preference, get some fresh players out there. And that's it. So that's how you do a quick change when you're on the PC. You can go back, but don't, as long as you stay on this screen, you're fine. We'll save the changes. But if you back out to the main menu of your league or master league, you'll have to do it over again. So alright, I'm already good there. I think we're good to go. So we're gonna play a 15. I'm gonna simulate a 15-minute match here and just kind of show you guys how the gameplay is going. Alright, so let's get the kickoff, and I'll try to explain as we go some of the things that you're going to see that are totally different. And it's not, you're gonna look at this and say, wow, this looks very different to what I'm used to, and it will be. And we've got an actual stadium to play on. So I keep the stuff on here. Actually, I do like to leave that on and flexible. All right, here we go. So we got wing rotation Gengenpress on. You can see there, we're getting collisions and fouls already, which is fantastic. So the guy into Vardy, he's got to turn and shoot, but no, he's got a defender on him, he has to play it back. So I'll try to keep up with the commentary, but I just want you to look at how they get out playing. Crossed in. Oh, it's a decent effort, but it goes too far for anybody. But you can already tell that the defense is more engaged. Like, look at Vardy. He's up there. He's trying to press a little bit. And they're forcing us to play back. Now we're playing on short all-out defense possession, and they're playing counterattack long ball with all-out with frontline pressure. You can see there, Iwobi's behind, but then he's immediately tackled. Doesn't get the ball, loses that turnover. And now we play the long ball over the top, down the wing, and Mina's right there to cover it. You can see, look at this. They've got the positions covered. Now Mina's tracking back a little bit, but Baines was there to pick up the mess. And you can immediately see the difference. We switched the play around. Now we got a little bit of space. Oh, there's a tackle. But the ball's won back, and now the referee calls a foul. I mean, just simple little stuff. Oh, I do apologize for the kits. Got to go in there and fix the kit server again. Skip those. I'll try to skip those replays for you. So let me know what your thoughts are. I would recommend you guys try it. I've spent many hours testing this in different setups. I've tested it with every possible combination of tactics. I just find out if these 3 advanced instructions and then the positional fixes and auto offside trap are on, the gameplay is totally different. And you can see there, Bernard's on the wing. He's got a little bit of space, and one's quite closing him down. The fullback doesn't let him get too far. Plays it straight back to Vardy. Now the counter's on. But look at how high we're up on the pitch. Look at that. We're not giving him an inch. We're keeping it in the midfield. It's the way we should be doing. As we're trying to mount some kind of attack here in possession. Defender steps up, the shot, and ooh, that went in. What a goal. A screamer from distance from Richarlison there. Not even mad about that. That was a fantastic goal. We'll take another look at it here. But you could see the defender stepped up to meet him. He didn't let him get into space, even though he got around him and scored the goal. You can see here, it's a decent ball. He's set, and he's the center forward. He's sitting back. And it was really just a fantastic finish. We'll take a look. Just played it at the outside of foot. Yeah, the defender was there, and it was a tough shot. But he just bent it around the keeper. All right, let's see what their response is going to be. And you know, they're still playing long down the middle because Vardy's in the middle. But you know, that wing rotation is going to pull him more on wide as well. And let's see, look at that. Defender's right there, steps up, waits for his midfield to catch up. They make him hesitate. Look, Bernard makes a bad pass. Like, all these little things. And this is vanilla. I have no gameplay mods on. This is just vanilla PES. This is Data Pack 5 vanilla with just some minor tweaks. And you can already start to see some of the good. Now, does it fix everything? No. We're so limited on what we can use. I just want to give everybody the tools to kind of make it. And Vardy with this turn shot that it could save. I just want to give people the tools to play this game because I was frustrated with Data Pack 5. It was very hard to the point where I almost gave up on this game, but I decided to take some time and look at the gameplay and see if there's anything we could do with the tools we did have to make it somewhat playable, and I think I found a really good situation with it. You can see just holding it down the wing, good cross in, header, good save. Look at that long ball. It was almost a diagonal ball, but it was a good ball nonetheless. But every time, look, the defender's up there to head it away. And now we're pressing them again, forcing them back. And now it's back to the keeper. And you can see it'll start again. Look at that. And the defender was in a good position to get a foot to that, and they win possession back. And then we take it off of Vardy's feet. There's no easy passing because the defense is engaged thanks to that Gengenpress. See, look at that. And it's going to spring a counterattack. What are we going to do? Are we going to be able to defend it? Yes, we are, because we win it back in the midfield. So, you know, I know I'm just kind of rambling, saying, look at this, look at that, look at this, but I really want you paying attention to what the CPU is doing here. And how, look at this, that's a switch. When do you see the AI do a little switch? I've seen them switch on top of the box in some of the cases. You can see they're moving the ball around. Part of it's the possession tactic, but still, it's still a welcome change. It's well defended, no angle to go. I'm just kind of passing it around right now, trying to find some space. All right, fullback was in position, got to head to it, and it falls back to the keeper for an easy finish. And there's a long ball out, and there's a foul. Just look at that. We're getting so many fouls, probably more fouls than what you've seen in the game. We've not even played that one half of football yet. It'll be a free kick here. So far, it's been a decent game. We got the one goal thanks to that nice, just a wonder goal there from outside the box. But you can see Leicester, they're trying to generate something. They might have something here. Nope. Oh, that's a mistake. Will we get punished by it? Nope. We can't press. But now I'm going to start to build up again. And look at good positioning. They can't exploit the wings, so now they got CPU's trying to figure out what they can do. Going to dribble a little bit. Going to encourage that attacker coming in, and another foul. Not called. It plays advantage, but still. Oh, can he step up? Yeah, see, the fullback tried to step up because everybody was compact in the box, but he loses it, and there you go. There's a ball out wide because Vardy's sitting out there waiting to receive the pass out there. And now they're going to spring a counterattack. We're going to see a little bit of variety here. And, brilliant step up there. You're going to see that a lot. Your defenders stepping up when the counterattack or any kind of attack where they're in a disadvantage. Because the Gengenpress, what it does is it makes the CPU focus on the ball carrier. And it should be a focus on the ball carrier. Everybody else can sit in their position. But the person with the ball needs, the defender closest to the ball needs to be focused on it. And decent ball in, but no one could get to the header. And look at that back. Nice back press there. As they retain possession and doing a good job of it, just cycling it around. And just an errant pass. Here we go again. This could be a good, decent attack. Vardy's got playing 1-2s. But you can still see the defenders staying with him. They're not retreating. They're only retreating if they're not doing the mass retreat. And look at that. Just a hopeless ball in. No one's there to get it. Easy clearance. And that's the first half in the books. So I could say that this has been pretty much a game changer for me. Just the simple changes I illustrated in the video. I just wanted to show you a little bit of the gameplay. I'm not going to show you the second half, but let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure some people will disagree. I'll just tell you right now, I've spent hours testing this in Data Pack 5, and this is by far the biggest kind of breakthrough we found in just making tactical tweaks to make PES somewhat playable and get some variety back and get the pressure back from get the defense to pressure. Now, I know what you might say. Well, what about stamina? Yeah, your players are going to get tired. Some of your lower stamina players are going to get a lot more fatigued than normal because they're running around pressuring a lot more. But I would argue that we haven't, the earlier versions of this PES 20, stamina's really not been too much of a factor. You could basically, before you could run around the pitch the whole game, you guys wouldn't even get into red. Now you'll start seeing guys getting into red more frequently, and you have to manage that accordingly, and that will lead to more injuries, which leads to more realistic games. So that's the whole goal of this series, is to make something that's more realistic with the tools we have here in PES. It's far from perfect, but it's a pretty good fix, and I've had a few people look at this already and give me their thoughts on it. So let me know what you think. And try it out for yourselves, and let me know what you find out, and if there's anything you see that might be more beneficial to these tweaks that we're trying for Data Pack 5, let me know. But that's been all from me, guys. I'd like to thank you for your time, and hopefully this will help you get back into PES again and let you live with the miserable Data Pack 5 and maybe make it somewhat playable for you. So until next time, folks, I'm Icy Reaper 31, and take care.